Hey there folks, Kevin Egan here alongside Mark Bircham for Firefield Vision, powered by NovaCare once more. Now, I thought it was a positive performance, a good result away against a strong Houston side, Mark. Now back with a little bit of a break ahead of Seattle, but now 5 games in 14 days. What's the mood like in the camp?
Yeah, we're just trying to stay healthy. As you know, we've had some injury problems, and added to that, last week we've had Hilton getting injured and coming off. So it's been focusing on just, ticking over, keeping fit, keeping healthy, and then still just working on our team shape and team ethic that we want.
The Seattle Sounders now visit Toyota Park without Clint Dempsey, without Martins, without a couple of other stars as well, but they're still a very talented side. What can you tell us about Seattle and how can you get at them?
No, as you said, they're a very talented side, and I've been there before and I've said it again, that we need to look at ourselves and we need to look at whatever team we're putting out there. That what was so good against Houston was our team organisation, our team shape, and we've hammered that into the lads because we've been punished with that in the last couple of months where we do so well going forward. And the thing with us, we would always create chances to score. It's just at the other end, we've sort of like shipped in goals when there's not been a lot of chances. As I said to you before, with shots on target and goals going in, the opposition was scoring 40% of their shots would be in goals. So we've tried to work on that. We've tried to work just concentration on the lads and organisation, because we can be organised in training, but when they're out there, the players are the ones that have to organise. So just focusing on them talking and organising themselves. Yeah,
Chicago Fire #1 in Major League Soccer in terms of shots averaging per game. It's crazy, 15 shots on average. Mike McGee, Patrick Nyako, is it like 2 brand new signings?
Of course it is, and even we said against Houston, we counted them as really not being available because we're talking about players wanting to start. We counted with them 2, it was like 6 players being out injured that would probably start. So to go to Houston and get a point and play well, we weren't a lucky point really, if you think with the woodwork or frame, as you say, out here 3 times. So yeah, look, it was a good performance, good lads, and with Patrick and Mike coming back, it shows how good they are. In the last 2 games, they've made a real impact.
All right, Mark, well, best of luck Saturday.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.
So as Mark Bircham said, the introduction of Mike McGee and Patrick Nyako, very much like new signings at this stage of the season. One of the things I'd like to look at is Kennedy Igboananike up front. Recently I've found that he's not getting the support that he needs. He needs someone to be up alongside, much closer to him, for him to be a more successful striker for the Fire. Introducing Mike McGee. I think he'll be the guy. But first off, let me show you an example of how I believe Igboananike has been a little bit too isolated of late. Let's go back to the home game against DC United. A wonderful pass in behind from Harry Shipp. Pause it right here. If you look up, which Kennedy Igboananike has done already, you see in your picture, 0 support for Igboananike. 4 DC United defenders. Igboananike's got 3 options: to shoot, to play it across the box, well there's no one there, or to try and hold the ball up. In that instance, the striker's looking to get on the board. So he has a go. It's a disappointing effort, but in truth, he needs far more support in that instance. That's where I think Mike McGee can be a big-time player alongside Igboananike for the rest of the season. We're going to take a look at the goal Mike McGee scored in the US Open Cup. It's a lovely little 1-2, Lavelle Palmer and Igboananike. Now Mike McGee makes that darting run. He's that furthest forward striker into the back of the net. It wasn't a flash in the pan because we're going to look at it again against Houston. Pause it right here. Now in this instance, Alex, wearing number 14, Chicago Fire midfielder last season, is playing McGee onside. McGee's looking across the line, and look at his position as well as Patrick Nyako. Harry Shipp recognises it. Now it could have been a better ball, but if we roll it on, we'll see that it puts Mike McGee into a dangerous area. He clatters with Alex, and then Greg Cochran whips in a great ball across the 6, and Paddy Nyako tucks it away for his first goal of the season. Great rebound from Nyako, but McGee's smart running. It's what it's all about. It's what creates the opportunity. And I think if you can put him up front alongside Kennedy Igboananike and let them combine together, I think you're in for a good Chicago Fire attack and more chances for both players. All right, so now we'll turn to Seattle Sounders. Focus on their strike force. No Clint Dempsey, no Obafemi Martins, but no problem for Ziggy Schmidt. They've got 2 players that I believe are very talented but very threatening in so many different ways. You've got Lamar Nagel, who scored against the Fire last season. Chad Barrett, former Chicago Fire striker, who's been on the board a few times this season too. So we're going to take a look at a few of their traits and how they can interact and also cause plenty of problems for the Fire on Saturday. First up, Lamar Nagel. Here's a clip against DC United. As the ball is played down the channel, he drags the central defender, Bobby Boswell, out of position, uses a little bit of muscle. Now look at the amount of space he has. It's incredible. Has all the time to pick out his shot, and it's unlucky it doesn't nestle into the back of the net, but he drags central defenders out of position. It's what he does best heading in toward the channel. Now with this next clip, you'll see the ball falls to Clint Dempsey in the centre of the field. Little pressure on Dempsey, he lifts his head and he looks to see that Chad Barrett's already turned, he's already ready to go. He lofts the most beautiful little pass across to Chad Barrett, and he's class. He's composed in those areas, tucks it home, but Chad Barrett will look to try and get in behind off the shoulder of the last defender all day long. Adi Elton, Jeff Laurentowicz struggling with injuries right now, so you may see a makeshift backline for the Fire. So staying compact and their communication will be absolutely key against Nagel and Barrett. Chicago Fire hopefully getting back to winning ways this Saturday against the Seattle Sounders, last year's Supporter Shield champions. It's at Toyota Park, it's also on CSN. The pre-game show is at 7 o'clock Central with the match kicking off at 7:30.